Everybody, this is Elaine Terry coming back at you again. Well, I want to first thank everyone for their ultimate support in my first and second video regarding my son's issue with Little Caesar's Pizza. We're doing really good. It's getting some really decent hits. What I'm really looking for right now is to make sure I clarify everything. It's been almost 1 week. Tomorrow will be 1 week that they told my son to go home and told me to tell him never to come back. No phone call regarding his final paycheck. Maybe I should go up there, but I'm worried about if they think we're going to have confrontations. But he's still definitely owed pay. What I didn't mention earlier is that the people who were instructing my son were teenagers, like him, his peers, 17, maybe 18-year-old kids who attended the same school as he did. So you think you don't want to think bully situation. And I understand that the store manager was the one training these kids. But when you're dealing with someone who has a learning disability, do you really put that in the hand of another teenager? I mean, really? I mean, teenagers can barely get along with themselves, nevertheless have the right set to deal with someone with a disability. And the fact that my son got frustrated and he mumbled under his breath away from customers that I don't give a crap. Remember, this was after the kids telling him to, we're going to put you on a timer. You have 20 minutes to do the dishes. And then a second kid come in and say, well, these dishes are not done good enough. Wash them again. There's an intimidation factor there for someone with a processing disability. Now, I really trusted this manager with my son. I mean, all the things he said that he's done with kids who were non-autistic with no disabilities, how he told me that, oh yeah, I have this kid here, he has an attitude problem, but I'm really working hard with him. And then my son comes there and he works equivalent of 30 hours in 30 days. I mean, he really works maybe 2 hours Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I don't see at what point that he's learning to do any one job right. Maybe 30 minutes he's doing toppings, or then again he's doing the dishes, or then he's working in the cooler. Where's the understanding with this man? You had the understanding for another kid. You hired a kid knowing that he had a processing disability, that he's autistic. However, you put him in the hands of his peers. I don't even know where to go with that. I effing don't know where to go with that Little Caesar pizza manager. I've managed stores before, and I've groomed people, and anyone can be taught anything. I mean, anything can be taught if they have the right trainer, the right manager, and the right motivation. My son came home to be homeschooled in seventh grade, and it broke my heart. I knew he had a disability, and as a working parent, you're out there, you're working, you come home, you only have so much time with your kids, and you do the best you can with those few little hours you have. And I mean, at one point I was working 50 hours a week. I've worked 80 hours a week at one point. And then when I came home to train my son to take him out of school because of bullying, out here in this school district, special need kids, they are usually in the same class with all the kids from elementary through high school, because there's only one class for special needs. There's not different classes. And so when that kid tried to bully my son in middle school, I told my son that he touches you, you mess him up good. And the kid touched him, and the other kids around him threatened that if he defended himself, they would hurt him real bad. And he hit the guy one time, busted his nose. Yes, he got suspended, came home, never went back. But here's back to my point. When my son came home and I decided to put him in the K-12 program, and I learned what his disability was, I had a chance to sit down and see him read. I had a chance to see him write and hear him speak. My heart broke. As a parent, you don't ever want to feel like a failure to your kids, whether they have disabilities, no disabilities. You want to know that you gave your child the very best chance that you could. And I sat there, and at that moment I realized I didn't give my son everything that he needed, because he's in the 7th grade and he was writing at a kindergarten level, and I didn't know that. His mom, I didn't know that. His reading was at a barely 3rd grader. And I realized I had to make a change. I really had to invest in my kid. I couldn't leave him to the public school system and trust that they can give my son what he needed. I'm his mom, and it's my job to give him what he needs. So I work with him, and I learned, and I listened, and I paid attention and learned what his disabilities were. And we worked, and I realized I had to break everything up into steps. And we didn't work on different things. We focused on one thing. And then we would graduate to other things. And, you know, through K-12, I'm so blessed. They provided a speech therapist. I mean, a real classy speech therapist for my son, so he can really work on his, you know, understanding the difference between questions. And if someone was to ask him to do something and tell him to do something, understanding those difference, understanding the difference between a joke. I mean, autism is something to behold. But if you take the time and you pay attention to it, it's a wonderful thing if you work with your kid, because you find how gifted they are. You just have to hone in, you have to hone into what their abilities are. Not so much of what their disabilities are, but hone on into what their abilities are. Autistic kids have some amazing abilities. They're very sensitive. Their behavior takes work. That can be trained in time. You can teach them how to do things. But it hurt me once again. I put my son out there. I work with him. He finally made honor roll. He's back in high school. Mostly all his classes are regular, except for maybe 1 or 2. And he made all A's. And that took a lot. That took 2 years to get him comfortable like that. My son is now writing stories. I haven't read them all, but he's motivated on his own with nothing. I haven't done anything. And I see my son, and he's just typing on his iPad. And that brings such joy to my heart. Maybe the grammar may not be right, or maybe how we read things may not be right, but he is inspired to write. He wants to write. And that's a child who couldn't write a sentence in 5 hours. It took him 5 hours to write one sentence, and now my baby's just typing away. I'm so proud of him, and I love him so much. But to put him out there at work, and he's volunteered, he's been with the public before, but to put him out there and entrust him with someone who would mistreat him like that, like they did at Little Caesar, it hurts my heart. It breaks my heart. Because anyone with a child or a young adult with autism, what is our biggest fear as a parent? Is that we will not be there one day to protect our kids from people like that. Little Caesars, I will never ever give you my business again. Ever. There's nothing you can do to get my business. But I will work hard in opening my own pizza shop. I don't care if it's under your name or someone else's name. But we will show the world that kids with disabilities can do it, and they can do it effing better. We will show you. And I challenge every parent that has a family member, that has a brother, a sister, a cousin, to share this video. My next video is pretty soon. It'll be my son. I'll probably have him reading his stories. It'll probably be the first time for me to hear some of them, and we'll be the first to hear it together. You know, so I can hear what's going on in his mind, and I want to share those thoughts with you. I don't want anyone to ever think that their child cannot make it, that their child cannot survive this. We have to fight. We're the parents. We have to fight for our kids. And fight with me. Join me in this fight. I'm not a movie star. I'm not a YouTube sensation. The only way this is going to get out is to share. And I will bombard every Facebook person I know. I'm still trying to figure out Twitter. I have no idea if I'm twittering, or any of that right. So if you see this video, look me up at Advice Mamas. Is it at Advice Mamas plural Twitter.com? I don't know. But teach me through this link. You know, any comments you have to help me get the message out. Help. I'm asking for help. Really, I'm asking for help, because my son will not be left behind, not by the school and not by this world. I'm a mama fighting for my child. Once again, hashtag Nopizzapizza. Put it in every comment that you write, even if it's unrelated. We need to make this trend. We need to make a difference. We're talking about equality for everything else. Equality for disability too. You know, equality for everybody. Everyone deserves a chance. Everyone deserves a chance. Thank you.